What do you know? It's a Sunday. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I have a little story to tell. Hopefully, it will cause you to be inspired. To give those of you who know that God has a plan, give you a chance to fulfill that plan. My job as one of the men of God, we're all men of God, if you believe in that. And as one, we have to try to lead. And if we can lead to the right places and others follow, then we can open up doors and pathways and opportunities they didn't know existed. Now I'm going to be able to speak of doors. I happen to own 2,000 of them, going back into the 1800s, maybe even 1700s. I have doors from India, doors from New York, doors from all over, doors of opportunity, and windows. I have thousands of windows. I was looking today, several square miles of glass if you laid it all flat. And window sashes made out of cypress. The value of the cypress alone that goes around the windows is probably $20,000 or $30,000, but the glass itself, blow a piece of sand that's heated up into a bubble, and then slice it and lay it out and flatten it out, and that's how you make glass up until 1919. Now, why is that important? If you don't have to make new glass, you don't have to use the heat it takes to melt the sand to make the glass, which is what everybody does now. And they throw old glass away because you can always buy more. Well, you buy more, but it's very expensive to the planet. That's a lot of sand. It's a lot of heat. It's a lot of labor. It's a lot of work. And why not use the old stuff? So, I believe in salvaging the past to create the future. Salvage the body that you're given if it's broken. Salvage it and build a better body. If your life is broken, and I've had mine broken several times. Losing my son, my only son, broke my life, broke my self-image. It brought me to God closer than I'd ever been because I had denied God that he could predict that he could determine our future, our fate. I didn't believe until he told me my son would pass away in Paris, France, and at 24. And when he did, since then I've been at his service, fulfilling a mission I came in life to do from the beginning. I've gathered 300 to 500 houses worth of materials. I've spent the last 4.5 years, now that I'm an adult and I'm a writer at 70 years old, I have now prepared the books. I'll be able to go out now and market and hand out the solutions for others to be able to build houses out of all American parts. No imports. No toxins from all the plastics or the vinyls or the paints that are on new paints are actually toxic if you breathe them in many cases. Sheetrock issues, all sorts of lots of it. It's bad. So you can go back and build with all wood. You can build with windows. And the people taking down the houses, that's salvage mining. The people finding all the houses to take down, that's salvage hunting. Salvage hunters go out, find the houses, find the barns, get the contracts to tear them down, make sure everybody's happy, and then have the salvage miners come in and do the work, tear it down, and then they take the materials over to the salvage builders, which is the co-op in your local town. If you think about this, this is trees that we cut down originally from Georgia to Texas, longleaf pine trees, for example, and cypress trees that were 1,200 years old when they were cut down, and they were 135 feet tall. Save that old wood in all those old houses. Save the wood in the barns. Save the wood in the stores. And in the warehouses. Why? Because the Canadians and others are coming in because of import taxes, and they're setting up shop to saw down all those young trees, only 150 years old, 200 years old, since we cut them all down the last time. Yeah. There was a time when a squirrel could get in a tree in Georgia and stay in trees all the way to Texas, if he was to prefer to do that, and that time's gone. So, we're barely getting forests back, which means we're barely getting the environment for wildlife back, which means we're barely getting back what was taken from us by the lumber barons who paid $1.50 an acre, cut all the trees down, and abandoned the property for the taxes in many cases, or later came back and planted trees to grow faster, cut sooner. But effectively, the riches of the United States, the lands, the sunshine, the water, was taken by the land barons and the lumber barons. And even to this day, I believe it's the Vanderbilts that have the biggest stand of longleaf pine trees, and they have to be 180 years old before the heart of the tree even develops. And then from the heart of the tree developing, another 800 or 1,000 years before you harvest the tree to cut the heart of the tree out. Heartwood is a cut from the center of the tree. It's the strongest part. It holds the tree up 135 feet tall, and there's no knots for many, many cases. 20, 30 feet, no knots. Amazing. The tree would only grow a 1/16 of an inch in girth a year. And the average tree in about the 1835, 1840 was 6 foot in diameter, average. I mean, some were bigger and smaller. And they were all cut down by 1932 by the lumber barons. Now, a lot of people don't know about the lumber barons, but there's a great book called The Sawdust Empire. And you really need to read it because it tells you about how in Texas, up until the 1930s, 1934, they were paying their employees with tokens, stamping them on Friday, handing them out the tokens to them people. Nobody in town would take the tokens. Nobody anywhere but at the company store. And for your rent, company housing, you pay with tokens. And anything else you need at the company store. But otherwise, you leave the company compound and your tokens were no good. So they finally passed a law in Texas saying you've got to pay those slaves with real money, otherwise they're slaves. No, they're white people. They're still slaves. They were indentured servants. They're all colors, by the way. The original indentured servants who were sent over from England during the big battles in the 1700s, oh my goodness, they were all slaves. White slaves, black slaves, yellow slaves, didn't matter. They were all indentured servants. They were sent over here and their life was owed to somebody. And in Texas, you couldn't get out of being an indentured servant if you couldn't make any money and leave. They pay you in tokens. You could buy your way out, but once you got out, what are you going to do? You can't leave with tokens. And so to leave the lumber yards in those days, you had to basically leave with nothing. In those days, 12-year-olds started work because daddy was probably worn out by the time they got to be 12. And they started working, cleaning out all the saws and everything. So all that lumber is stacked up in my warehouses. They made windows out of it. They made doors out of it. J.F. Smith & Brothers. J.F. Smith & Brothers was the biggest shipper, catalog parts, windows, doors, hardware in 1863 to 1963. When they shut down in 1963, the dentist across the street said, let me save that inventory. Being a guy like me, he didn't want to waste it. And he saved it in a house over in Muldoon, Texas with 3 bedrooms, filled, stacked floor to ceiling with stuff, and a barn out back stacked with floor to ceiling in a corner of it, 15 foot high, with window sashes. And a lot of them were new old stock, never been used. So I happened to have been come along. He's 84 years old in the old folks home. His wife was 83. And the kids want to get some money. It's going to end shortly because I'm about running out of time. Would you believe the moment I said I'd go ahead and take all that stuff and save it, take care of it, honor it, be the steward? Within 4 days, he and his wife passed away. Their job was done. They found the next sucker who's going to go ahead and steward the stuff for the next 25 years, which is about how long it's been. And I've got all these windows and all these doors all made out of cypress trees that are 1,000, 1,500 years old. You're never going to find them again. I've got the lumber, longleaf pine, to build the walls with, the floors with. I've got the trim to do all around the windows and doors. I have enough windows and doors to build at least 300 to 500 small houses, tiny homes in stock. Now what I want to do is I want to get certified people that come in here and train, learn how to build this way, and then go back out and start outposts. And I'll give them the materials to build the first 2 or 3 houses as part of their tuition. So you spend $25,000 or $50,000. At $50,000, you get 3 houses with the windows and doors and trim and all sorts of things take back with you, but you also get certified and you get a territory. And every order that comes in your territory, say around 75 miles from where your place is, that co-op of your local people can build those houses and transport them cheaper than I could ever hope anybody could hope to build them anywhere else and transport them. Because they can be houses, not trailers. They can be 11 foot wide instead of 7 or 8 foot wide. They can be habitable, healthy, and grounded. I'm about to run out of time. If you're interested in this, I know. I came formal, just so I can say, on a Sunday. I'm here as your inspiration. God sent me to do a job. My job was to have everything ready when you all woke up. Take care of your vessel. Take care of your body. Take care of your spirit, your mind, your children, your family. Stay natural. Stay organic. Homestead if you can. Prepare. Things are changing fast, and I want to offer you up a lot in a very short amount of time, and you pay for it later. And if things are really tough and you don't pay for it, I'm not taking your house away once you build it. We'll work it out someday. I'm 70. Maybe we'll never have to worry about it. If I die, it's paid off. My time's run out. Is that not a good offer? Is that not inspirational? I can provide the materials. Give me 50% down, 0% interest. Take as long as you take to build it. When you sell it, pay me. Or if you live in it, 5 years, no interest. And if shit hits the fan and you can't pay me, I'm not coming to take your house. If you're a good enough person, you pass the test. God says, give it to you. At that point, it's yours. If I die, it's yours. Don't come kill me just to get your house paid off. But trust me this, I'm not here to take your money. I'm here to provide opportunity, and I need the young kids, 40-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, to build the houses and to spread this ideology. Salvation through salvage is possible. I'm a poor boy. I'm proof it works. At 70, all those attempted suicides when I was a kid, thank God, God sent me back to do this for you. Blessings.